about ready to get started. Guy, Drew, you sit right there, and Isaiah. All right, welcome to our press conference for the University of Southern California. We have our student athletes that are here, Drew Peterson and Isaiah Mobley. Reminder that when you ask a question to please state your name and your affiliation. Floor is open for questions. In the front.
Adam Grossbard, Orange County Register. Earlier this week, Max was talking about how he doesn't know what you guys have to do at this point to get some national respect. Is that something that you guys have thought about at all entering the tournament?
Not really. Just because I feel like when we start winning, people will begin to respect us more, and it's out of our control. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of control what we can control and then go from there.
It's win or go home at this point. So we're just focused on every next game and let the play speak for itself.
Other questions on the right?
Hey guys, Todd Shaughnessy from the Greenville News. I just wondered if you lost anything or learned anything down the stretch losing a few.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously the last couple of weeks, we're playing a lot of good opponents. Obviously, Arizona's a 1 seed, UCLA 4 seed. So that's a lot of learning experience we can take going into this tournament. We're coming back with a lot of older guys and guys who experienced the Elite Eight run last year. So we'll take that the last couple of weeks and the experience from last year, and we know what it takes out here to win and go deep in this tourney. So we'll definitely use that to our advantage.
Said it's just important just to learn from every opportunity we had these last couple of weeks and throughout the season and even last season, and that's what we plan to do on applying that going forward and playing in this tournament this year.
In the front.
Adam Grossbard, Orange County Register. Kind of following up on that, Miami plays a pretty similar style to Washington in terms of a lot of deflections and steals. What can you take away from that game last week to help you tomorrow?
Just being smart with the ball, playing at our own pace, not allowing them to speed us up, and yeah, just being smart. And I think if we do that, play defense like we know how, we can be successful.
Yeah, we came out and took care of the ball a lot better against UCLA, and we have been emphasizing that, and we know Miami plays fast and aggressive, and so we'll be ready for their play style for sure.
In the front.
Hi, for Drew, Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald. What do you think is the national perception of the Miami program and the Miami team this year? How much do you know about them, and do you think they're kind of an underrated team in some ways?
I don't know. Yeah, they're a well-coached team. Obviously, they played Duke to the end the other day, and so it's not a team that anyone could take lightly. They're a team that wants to come out and prove everything too. As being a 10 seed and slight underdog. They want to come out and show on the national stage that they're building their basketball program. So we'll be ready to go. I didn't know too much about them before the last couple of weeks, but I've seen them play here and there throughout the year, and we know that if we don't take this game, obviously, with it being March Madness and everything, we got to come out and play with some fire and be ready to go.
Other questions? Front.
Isaiah, can you talk about what in particular impresses you about UM? What is it that they do? Any players or something in their style of play that you guys are going to be challenged by?
Yeah, the University of Miami, they're a great squad. They play together well. They play fast. They play defensive. They play smart on defense. They can beat teams. They beat Duke at Duke. It's impressive. They took Duke to the wire, like Drew said, in the ACC tournament. And so they're just an all-around good team. They have a great coach who's been around for a long time and is experienced. And yeah, like Drew said, if we take any team lightly, especially UM, we could drop a game. And so we're just gonna do everything that we can in our power to take them seriously and try to come out with the W.
On the front, Todd.
wonder if both you guys could speak on this. I'm wondering what Chavez Goodwin has brought to this team and what he means.
Chavez is a super energy guy, great on defense and offense. Throughout the season, he's played real well. His experience just being around college basketball for as long as he has is important to us. And he's like one of the roots of our team, you know. We can't do what we've accomplished already and what we want to accomplish ahead without him. So he's a big part of our team.
Yeah, I'd say he's one of the most passionate players I've ever played with. Obviously, he's a huge key to us last year, and he really brought and stepped up his game, really improved his game over the summer and all that stuff. So it's awesome that he gets to now come back home and play in front of all his friends and family, and we're really excited for him, and we want to do well to hopefully make his last run worthwhile.
In the front.
Adam Grossbart, Orange County Register. For both you guys, Isaiah, you tested the draft last year. Drew, you're a senior, even though you didn't participate in senior night. Has the possibility that these games could be your last in college, does that stay in the back of your mind at all this week?
I just try not to think about it. If it is, let's try to make the most of them, and if it's not, the same thing, just try to still make the most of them, because it's a wonderful opportunity, even just being up here right now and being in Greenville and getting to experience the tournament fully, especially this time around. So, I just try not to think about it for me.
Yeah, agreed. Kind of focused on all that stuff after the season, but year to year, I don't think you can take any of it for granted because you never know what happens, injuries, just random factors. I'm always fortunate to be in a position to now we're in the NCAA tournament and hopefully make our run. But I just don't think you can take any of it for granted because of all the crazy stuff that can go on. Just like even COVID canceling stuff. Just there's so many unknown factors. So we're just we're ready to go game by game, and we're excited to be here.
Any other questions here locally? One more for Todd.
Guys, it seems like this is a defense-first team. Is that true, and is that something you kind of talked yourself into to be proud about?
I would say so. We have to be smart on offense, obviously, because putting the ball in the basket is what wins the games. But if we feel like we can hold teams to not what they're typically used to making, then we can make a real difference in the games. And that's kind of what our program has tipped our hat to in the past years, and I think we plan to keep that on our shoulders going forward.
Yeah, as Isaiah said, we pride ourselves on our defense. So we've been kind of known for the last few years, and we're hoping to continue that. The ball doesn't always go in the hoop, so our defense will always translate, and we got to be there and really lock down, especially as you try and make a late turning run.
In front.
Adam Grossbart, Orange County Register. Isaiah, Miami has that stretch five who can kind of space the floor. What kind of pressure does that put on the defense?
He's a great shooter, shooting him around 40%. So we got to guard him well. We have that in our scout to make sure we don't give him any easy looks, and if we don't pay attention to him, he definitely can be a threat to us. So we try to lock in on our scout and try to take care of business with that.
Any other questions in the room? All right, got one question on Zoom. Christopher on Zoom, you got a question? Go ahead.
Hey, this is Chris Heidel from Herman from Radio in Baltimore. Just talk about the travel from West Coast to East Coast. What do you guys, you guys still feel kind of like, getting used to the East Coast time, or what's the difference for getting you guys to get ready for tomorrow?
It's not bad. We got here a couple days early. I think we got here on Tuesday, so just to get used to everything. But obviously a little bit of a transition early on, but we're all good to go. We've been here a few days now, and we'll be ready to go come tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, like Drew said, travel was pretty smooth. Of course, your body has to adjust, but it shouldn't be a problem for us. And even if it is bothering us, it can't be an excuse now. This is March, so yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much. A recording of this press conference will be available on NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaaveritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. Yes. Coach. Timber Ray from Clemson. How you doing? All right, we're now ready for Coach Andy Enfield, head coach of the University of Southern California. Reminder, when you ask questions, to please state your name and your affiliation. Coach, just a couple opening comments.
Well, we're excited to be here to play a very good Miami team. Greenville is a beautiful city. We had dinner last night. Very pleasant downtown area. Had a great meal, and we're ready to play basketball now.
Questions for Coach in the middle.
Hi, Andy. Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald. You have such a history in the state of Florida. Coach L says you guys have known each other forever, and you're very familiar with their team and program. How does that help you in scouting? I mean, I'm assuming you kind of keep an eye on them from a distance.
Sure. I've known Coach L and their coaching staff, Coach Courtney and Caputo, for a long time, since they were George Mason. And I was in the NBA coaching. And then I went to Florida State, of course, Florida Gulf Coast. And when they were at Miami, Coach L got the job. I actually played them twice, my 2 years at Florida Gulf Coast. So been a long time. He's had such a great career as a head coach. Really done a tremendous job at Miami with this team, especially because they were a lot of new players came together, a few transfers, and they've done an amazing job. So we're excited for them. Obviously, scouting is tough because they're so dynamic with the basketball. They're guards. They spread you out. They have a lot of three-point shooting. But the fact that I've known Coach L and the coaching staff for a long time doesn't really give us any advantage because they're their own team right now, and they're playing great basketball.
In the front.
Adam Grossbart, Orange County Register. Andy, just any updates on Reese or Isaiah White?
Progressing. Both are day-to-day. And Reese is a lot better now than he was last week. And unfortunately, he didn't play in the semifinal game. We missed him. I missed his outside shooting, his ball handling. But we're hopeful he'll be ready tomorrow. Isaiah White as well, but we're not sure. It's day-to-day, and we'll find out probably later tonight or tomorrow.
Todd.
Coach Todd Shaughnessy from the Greenville News. What did you learn from that run with Florida Gulf Coast that kind of translate into a higher level at a Power 5?
Well, the number one thing you need as a head coach, you need very good players to play on your team and to compete at this level. It's hard to get to the NCAA tournament. It's even harder to win games. In Florida Gulf Coast, we had tremendous players. They came together as a team. They were a lot of fun to coach, and they believed in themselves. So I think as you go up a level to the Pac-12 in the power conferences, it's the same concept. You need outstanding, talented players that come together as a team, and they play their best basketball come March. And we've had a lot of good teams at USC. Very proud of our players, proud of our teams. This team has been very unique because we were coming off an Elite Eight run last year with losing our top two scorers. Evan Mobley was the third pick in the draft, and Taj Edey was averaged 14 a game. Just had an incredible year for us, and he was all conference. So losing those two guys made this an opportunity this season for our players to step up and take different roles, take bigger roles in the offensive and defensive end. And then some of the new guys, we came in, our four freshmen, our transfer, Boogie, and they had a chance to come in and mold together into their own team. And it was fun to watch them do that this year, the 26-7, and they've had a really good season.
Middle.
Michelle Kaufman again, Miami Herald. Can you talk about Charlie Moore and what impresses you as a point guard and what he's really transformed that team a lot this year? What is it about him?
We coached against Charlie at California, University of California, I think when he was a freshman. And then he transferred a few times. I think this is his fourth school, and they have three starters that are six-year players. Charlie's one of them. He's just a very he can really score the ball at the point guard, but he's a very good playmaker. He's turned himself into a true point guard, lead guard at this level. It's been fun to watch his progression. I lost track of him a few years, but now he popped up and, as you said, has made a big difference in their success this season and is a really good basketball player. So we have our hands full guarding him.
Todd.
Coach, how did Chavez Goodwin adjust to the big city, and what's he brought to you guys?
Chavez is one of the hardest working players I've ever coached at any level, and he's one of the most improved players in the Pac-12. He's nonstop energy. He comes at you every day in practice, never takes a day off in practice, and he's improved dramatically since he's been at USC. Can't say enough about his toughness, his physical toughness, his mental toughness, and his energy, what he brings to our team, his maturity. And he's a lot of fun to coach because you teach him something, he soaks it in, he tries his best to improve, and to come all the way across the country to play in a power conference, I thought was a leap of faith on his part, his family's part, because he was going away from home. And to see his father come out on senior day was special. A couple of weeks ago when we had senior day at USC, and the year he's had for us. And then ironically, we get to hear a first-round March Madness game in his home state, a few hours from his house in Greenville. So this is an incredible experience for him and his family, and hopefully he'll come tomorrow and play a really good game for us because we need him to play well for us to win.
Front.
Adam Grossbart, Orange County Register. Andy, earlier this week, Max was talking about how he just doesn't know what this program has to do to gain national respect at this point. What do you feel like? Do you address that with the team at all, or is that something you tell them to kind of put out of their mind at this time of year?
Well, all we can do is do our best, try to win games, and they've done that. They've done that the last few years, last 7 years really, because we've had some other good players at USC. So I think last year no one picked us to win any NCAA tournament games. We won 3 of them, lost to Gonzaga in the Elite 8, but we don't really we don't concern ourselves with what other people think. We just have to try to do our best, and whatever happens, happens. So it is nice to for our players. I've been around this game long enough that I don't buy into that much of the respect, disrespect, the media attention, etc. I'm so focused on our team, but as a player, I think our players do deserve credit when credit's due, and fortunately, the Los Angeles media and the West Coast media has been very supportive of our program and done a lot of features on our players over the last couple of seasons. So we're very appreciative of the Los Angeles media and the West Coast media. And I grew up in the East Coast in Pennsylvania. I understand that no one watches our games. They're too late. People are asleep. I fell asleep in the overtime game last night, at Notre Dame-Rutgers game, because I'm exhausted. You know, so I understand. I never watched a USC basketball game growing up in Pennsylvania. So I don't think it's an intentional bias on people. I just think it's a lack of awareness at times and a lack of understanding that the West Coast does have really good basketball players. If you look at the NBA, we got USC. We put 6 guys in the NBA the last 5 years, and we've had 3 straight years with first-round draft picks, and we had the 3rd pick in the draft last year and the 6th pick in the draft on Yeka Kongwu the year before, and Evan Mobley's going to be Rookie of the Year this year. So there's a lot of good basketball on the West Coast, and I don't think it's an intentional bias most of the time. It's just a lack of awareness of how good the teams are, and especially the basketball individual players.
Any other questions? One more up front.
Yeah, Miami just plays a pretty similar style defensively to Washington in terms of deflections and steals. What can your team learn from that game last week for tomorrow?
Well, we handled Washington's pressure really well. We only turned over 23 times instead of 24, but we were able to pull out that victory. We've been pretty good all year with turnovers, so we have to take care of the basketball. We had 9 the other day in semifinal loss, but we have to make open shots. We have to finish in the lane. Our 2-point defense is second in the country. We have to defend the paint, but we also have to score in the paint. We've been an inside-outside team all season, and we have to have our best players play well. So that means take care of the ball, pass it when someone's open, and then finish when it's your time to finish in the lane or make an open shot. We have to make a high percentage of those to be a really good team as Miami.
Any other questions? Coach, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Good luck.